Yes.
Okay, what is your name?
Lindsay, Shiver.
That was Lindsay Shiver on July 17th, 2023, only 5 days before her husband, Robert Shiver, learned of the Bahamas plot against his life. Thank God, praise the Lord, we've got the 911 call that Lindsay Shiver made on Sunday, July 16th, 2023, around 7 a.m. or so, after she got into a dispute with her estranged husband, Robert Shiver. Thank you all for your comments and reminding me to request this 911 call. The 911 call we're about to hear is nearly 7 minutes long, and we're about to go over the whole thing in full, twice. Now, as those of you who've been following the case know, Lindsay has been accused of plotting with her young boyfriend, Terrence Adrian Bethel, and his childhood friend, Farron Newbold Jr. to get rid of her husband, Robert, permanently. And what's fascinating about this 911 call that the good people of Thomasville, Georgia sent me this morning, today is Tuesday, August 15th, is that it was placed only 5 days before Robert Shiver would tell cops that he learned of a plot against his life on Friday, July 21st, 2023. I'm trying to solidify a timeline here with exact proof. So this is Sunday, July 16th, and then that Friday, this is what is reported on the Royal Bahamas Police initial report to prosecutor. That Friday is when Robert learned of the plot. What is not clear is the exact date of the WhatsApp message that Lindsay reportedly sent to the would-be hitman Farron Newbold Jr. referencing Robert Shiver with his photo attached and a text message that reportedly read, "Kill him." I'm trying to gather evidence. Was it the exact same time and day that this dispute happened? This is what started the body cam footage that we watched in the previous video. If you haven't yet watched it, I've linked to the full video below. Yes, per your comments and questions, there is no timestamp, date, and time in the actual body cam footage. Not all police body cam has that. But the Thomasville Police Department Family Violence Report confirms the time. So I'll put that on the screen. In that body cam footage, there are 3 different officers who responded to the $2.577 million home at various times. But Officer Erin Vick seems to be the first person to get there. She's the female cop who speaks with Lindsay the most, and her footage is more than 17 minutes long. So that's why her video footage, I put it in the first 30 minutes of that video, and she has the best audio. So if you watch the first 30 minutes, you'll see all of her interactions with Robert and Lindsay. And you can see the body cam footage. It starts as Officer Aaron is approaching Lindsay.
Of course, he's inside now.
Okay. So what's going on? Y'all are separated, or what's the deal?
We have filed for divorce.
Okay.
Living in the same house. It's hell on earth, as you can imagine.
Okay.
But anyway, woke up this morning. We have travel plans to leave. And he's insisting that I don't go.
And then it goes all the way until Officer Aaron walks away and blames the whole incident on money.
Money.
So you have everything. I have placed all 3 of those body cam footage perspectives, and if you watch the whole thing, you'll get every officer's perspective, because different ones left at different times and they were in different places within the garage. That's what I got directly from Thomasville, Georgia Police in the entire video. The only editing I did was to, of course, redact personal and private information. As for the commentary, YouTube requires us to add commentary into body cam video footage. Believe me, I've tried to publish body cam footage uninterrupted on my other channel, and YouTube does not like that. Thank you to all of you who understand and like the commentary. Now I'm doing the same thing with this 911 audio call at first, and then I'll play the whole thing uninterrupted at the end with the CAD notes, so you can see everything cops had, except of course redacting their address. Let's talk about and listen to this 911 call.
Thomas County 911.
Hi there. We're having a domestic dispute at SLA Road.
hi there, we're having a domestic dispute at the home. So Lindsay starts out, she sounds calm. I find it interesting, her choice of words. We're having a domestic dispute. She does not mention that I heard Robert pushing her out of the way in the garage, like she claimed later when Officer Aaron kept questioning her further in the body cam footage, like, what do you mean he moved you out of the way? So once again, I've put through redactions on the home address. You'll hear some silent moments.
Yes.
Okay, what is your name?
Lindsay, Shiver.
And what's going on?
It's my husband that is soon to be my ex. He is opening my car, and I'm telling him not to. It's an aggressive behavior, and that's who he is. So we're having a fight this morning.
Lindsay says, it's my husband, that is my soon-to-be ex. He is opening my car, and I'm telling him not to. So again, Lindsay starts talking about it's an aggressive behavior, and that's who he is. So we're having a fight this morning, and she's going to amp up the kind of fear she's feeling and the actions, but I don't hear her giving specifics. I don't hear her saying, Robert pushed me out the way. He did this specific thing.
Okay, does he still live there?
Oh, yes, we still live under the same roof. It's awful.
What's his name?
Robert.
Okay, are you inside of the vehicle?
Yes.
So the dispatcher is asking, okay, does he still live there? And Lindsay says yes. Oh yes, we still live under the same roof. It's awful. The dispatcher is asking what's his name. She says Robert. Okay, are you inside the vehicle? Yes. So I guess Lindsay was sitting inside her Cadillac when she was calling.
Okay, so he's trying to get to you?
Yes.
Does he have any weapons?
Yes.
On him right now?
In his truck that are right outside.
Okay, what's in his truck?
I'm not sure exactly what it is. I know it's some kind of pistol.
Okay, so is he trying to get to you? Yes, Lindsay says. Does he have any weapons? Yes, Lindsay says. On him right now? In his truck that are right outside. So the dispatcher wants to know what kind of weapons, and Lindsay's like, I'm not sure what kind it is, some kind of pistol. So I'm surprised with this information that the cops didn't show up with guns ablazing, or at least drawn, with this sort of pretext that Lindsay is giving the way she's describing Robert.
Okay, where is he at right now?
He's just walked inside to be with my son. So I'm about to lock my car and then go grab my child. This man is cocky, full of himself, thinks he knows the law, so just tell whoever shows up to be prepared.
Okay, where is he at right now? Lindsay says, he just walked inside to be with my son, so I'm about to lock my car and then go grab my child. So she's like staying in her car. I guess she wants to protect the kids' suitcases, doesn't want Robert to get them. At this point, you hear the sound of perhaps Lindsay's Cadillac Escalade door slamming. Lindsay says this man is cocky, full of himself, thinks he knows the law, so just tell whoever shows up to be prepared. So she calls him cocky, aggressive, thinks he knows the law. She sounds a little distressed, like she might start crying a little bit, but she's not crying.
Ready. Is there anything that can be done with a domestic dispute?
We have units on the way to you. Where is he at right now? What's he doing now?
I have no idea. Just walking through the house.
Okay, so he's not trying to argue anymore?
No, of course not. He knows I called you.
And then you hear something kind of like a male voice. I think that might be Robert's voice, but it's kind of unintelligible at this point. Let me know what you hear. Just like in the body cam video when Officer Aaron approached Robert, his truck is so loud it's kind of hard to hear what he's saying to her. You'll hear these moments of the dispatcher typing and likely listening. We don't know what's going on, but we can assume Lindsay has walked from the garage into their house. And she's asking again, is there anything that can be done with a domestic dispute? I find it so interesting she's using that choice of wording. And later in the body cam footage when she said, well, at least now we have it on record, it's like she's learned the legalese. The dispatcher says, we have units on the way to you. And she's trying to find out, where is he at right now? What is he doing now? And Lindsay just says, I have no idea, just walking through the house. And the dispatcher asks, okay, so he's not trying to argue anymore? Lindsay's like, no, of course not. He knows I called you. Now, I don't know if Lindsay had warned Robert, like, I'm going to call the police. Most 911 audio is we can usually hear people before they even know it starts recording in the beginning, but you don't hear much. At this point, we hear a beeping. Perhaps it's the sound of the house alarm being disabled or Robert unlocking the Escalade to try and get to the kids' suitcases. I don't know. But throughout this whole thing, you don't really hear them arguing or fussing or fighting.
Have you guys had issues like this before?
Oh, yes, we have. Yeah, of course he's nowhere to be found right now.
Okay, do you think that he left? Is his vehicle still there?
His vehicle's still here. But I do have my son inside, so my son's not in danger. It's just me. That's the problem for him.
Have you guys had issues like this before? Oh yes, we have, Lindsay says. Just like in the body cam video footage, Lindsay is not elaborating. She's not elaborating with specific incidents. There's a lot of dead air. There's pregnant pauses. You know, nearly 5 minutes into the call, you don't hear any scuffling or anything. You don't hear a ton of emotion. Everything is kind of flat. Well, Lindsay says, yeah, of course he's nowhere to be found right now. So the dispatcher asks, okay, do you think that he left? Is his vehicle still there? His vehicle's still here, she says. Lindsay says, but I do have my son inside. My son's not in danger. It's just me that's... And she kind of trails off like she tends to do. And the dispatcher says, okay. And then Lindsay says, the problem for him. It sounded like at first Lindsay was going to say, my son's not in danger, it's just me. She changes it to say, it's just me that's the problem for him.
You want me to get him outside?
Ma'am?
Do you want me to get him outside?
Get who outside?
My husband. For when the police arrive.
Okay, they're going to make contact with you whenever they get there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know where he's at right now?
I don't.
Okay.
Just somewhere inside.
Okay.
You want me to get him outside? Ma'am? The dispatcher is like, what? Do you want me to get him outside? Get who outside? I know, I hate when people just say him or her or whatever without specifying a name. You know, who? Get your son outside? Get your husband outside? Who are you talking about? Lindsay says, my husband, for when the police arrive. Lindsay's like, you want me to push Robert outside so you guys can just arrest him? Seems like what she means. Okay, they're gonna make contact with you whenever they get there, the dispatcher says. Okay, yes ma'am. Do you know where he's at right now? That's really what the dispatcher wants to know. Where is this quote-unquote dangerous man with weapons? I don't know, just somewhere inside, Lindsay says. Okay, you hear sounds of typing again.
Do you know what made him upset this morning? What started it?
Yes, we were having a fight about our travel plans this morning. We're supposed to be leaving in an hour. Oh, they're passing my house right now.
The unit's past the house?
Yeah, there's one that's pulling in, though.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect and let you go make contact with them then, okay?
Okay, appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Do you know what made him upset this morning? What started it? Lindsay says, yes, we were having a fight about our travel plans. This morning, we're supposed to be leaving in an hour, so she doesn't elaborate. She's not saying, yeah, I want to hitch a ride to the Bahamas with my husband because my boyfriend and I were supposed to get together and our plans to Key West fell through. Oh, they're passing the house right now, so Lindsay must see the cops trying to find their home, just like in the body cam we saw one turning around. The unit's past the house, the dispatcher says. Yeah, there's one that's pulling in though, so that must be Officer Aaron. All right, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect and let you make contact with them then, okay? Okay, appreciate you, Lindsay says. Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. What a call, huh? So, what do you think of that call? We'll get to listen to it in its entirety and then we'll wrap up and talk about it.
I'm scanning 911.
Hi there. We're having a domestic dispute at SLA Road. Yes.
Okay, what is your name?
Lindsay, Shiver.
And what's going on?
It's my husband that is soon to be my ex. He is opening my car, and I'm telling him not to. It's an aggressive behavior, and that's who he is. So we're having a fight this morning.
Okay, does he still live there?
Oh, yes, we still live under the same roof. It's awful.
What's his name?
Robert.
Okay, are you inside of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, so he's trying to get to you?
Yes.
Does he have any weapons
Yes.
on him right now?
In his truck that are right outside.
Okay, what's in his truck?
I'm not sure exactly what it is. I know it's some kind of pistol.
Okay, where is he at right now?
He's just walked inside to be with my son. So I'm about to lock my car and then go grab my child. This man is cocky, full of himself, thinks he knows the law, so just tell whoever shows up to be prepared. You ready? Is there anything that can be done with a domestic dispute?
We have units on the way to you. Where is he at right now? What's he doing now?
I have no idea. Just walking through the house.
Okay, so he's not trying to argue anymore?
No, of course not. He knows I called you.
Have you guys had issues like this before?
Oh, yes, we have. Yeah, of course he's nowhere to be found right now.
Okay, do you think that he left? Is his vehicle still there?
His vehicle's still here. But I do have my son inside, so my son's not in danger. It's just me. That's
Okay.
the problem for him. Do you want me to get him outside?
Ma'am?
Do you want me to get him outside?
Get who outside?
My husband. For when the police arrive.
Okay, they're going to make contact with you whenever they get there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Do you know where he's at right now?
I don't.
Okay.
Just somewhere inside.
Okay. Do you know what made him upset this morning? What started it?
Yes, we were having a fight about our travel plans this morning. We're supposed to be leaving in an hour. Oh, they're passing my house right now.
The unit's past the house?
Yeah, there's one that's pulling in, though.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect and let you go make contact with them then, okay?
Okay, appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Notice there's no mention of a knife in that call, so I don't know why that was mentioned in the Thomasville Police Department Family Violence Report, but we know Lindsay was mentioning weapons. Now, I will attempt to get additional 911 call audio for the other incidents that we talked about that have happened at the home in past years, one in 2022, one in 2020. We talked about that in the previous video. If those 911 calls are even available, I don't know the cutoff time for those, how old they have to be before they scrub them. The latest in the divorce case of Shiver versus Shiver is an order granting motion to withdraw filed by Lindsay's former lawyer, Bree Sullivan Howell. It was dated August 14th, 2023. So we know Lindsay mentions having a lawyer, having an attorney in the body cam footage, but no more. Romans 14:8. If we live for the Lord, and if we die for the Lord. So whether we live or die, we belong to the Lord. That's us who believe in Jesus, giving our lives to Him. It doesn't matter when we die, we belong to Him. Only way to survive eternity, the best way, the way that's not torturous. But I've been thinking about just how great all the cops are in this case, the Thomasville cops providing this info, putting up with this woman who, I hesitate to call anyone who's alleging domestic violence a faker, but I have read plenty of comments where people, I would say more people than not, just disbelieve Lindsay. I know not every dispute means you have to be like, whoa, all over the place, yelling, screaming, and yelling. Sometimes violence is very quiet. Like this woman told me this morning, it can be quiet, like a drowning. Not every drowning is whoa. Sometimes people drown very quietly. I'm not going to put all the cliches on this woman. She doesn't really sound upset. I don't hear any screaming and yelling. I don't hear physical violence going on. None of that necessarily has to be present to be in a harmful or abusive situation. But hearing this 911 call, I just don't know. It's just looking worse in Lindsay's favor to me. It's very weird. When I was reading the divorce papers and I saw they were filed, Robert's on April 5th, Lindsay's on April 6th. I don't know when it was written, but Lindsay had mentioned in that divorce filing that Robert had taken the kids somewhere. She just says last weekend. He had taken the kids somewhere the previous weekend without telling her until police had to get involved. So I was thinking, okay, there has to be body cam footage of that incident. I was expecting that, I guess, to be in the last weekend in March. But we don't know where that happened. Were they in a different location or a different county? Because I don't think Thomasville doesn't have any footage or incident reports from the end of March 2023 around there involving Lindsay. They only have this one from July 16th. And what a day. But by this point, she talked about in her divorce paperwork, April 5th, April 6th, she's alleging domestic violence. Now by July, it's like she's getting it on record. Is she just getting her ducks in a row, thinking she wouldn't get caught with some alleged murder for hire plot? Was she just trying to get some allegations on record without proof? Again, we're just not seeing the proof of what Lindsay's alleging, which could very well be true, but it could also be very false and an attempt to impugn Robert's character falsely. That's what's so confusing here with this case. I think this body cam footage will be so important because July 16th, 2023, it's unbelievable this event happened that day. We're still not clear how Lindsay got down to the Bahamas, but obviously she was down there. And then just 5 days later, Robert learns of the plot. So was Lindsay sending that text the same day? That's what's so curious. That's what we need to know. But we're learning more and more now. We have the body cam, we have the 911 call. We'll see what else we can get to fill in this picture, to fill in this real life movie of sorts. It's so sad, a family broken apart. But my main thing is why? I always want to know why. I'm not into the gruesome aspects of a case. Thank the Lord in heaven for saving Robert's life, for this plan being thwarted. Kudos to the Bahamas police for just following up on the robbery at Grabber's Bar, and then following up on these WhatsApp messages, taking them seriously, whether Lindsay and her cohorts will say they were joking or not. Bahamas police took them seriously enough to tell Robert, and can you imagine his fear? Just in the Bahamas trying to get over this marriage to his college sweetheart, and imagine his fear of learning of some plot. How quickly was he able to file a flight plan and get out of there? Or his pilot? I don't know when he flew back, but what if he had to stay the night and couldn't leave until Saturday, and knowing in this home, like, someone could break in here, someone could endanger my children and myself. I don't know what he did. Imagine being in that predicament. But thank the Lord for protecting his life, the boys' lives. They got back to Thomasville, Georgia safely. I mean, he probably still didn't feel at ease in his mansion there because, you know, he probably knew Lindsay's not in her right mind. What is she going to do? And he gets back home, and Lindsay's arrested at some point, and her cohorts are arrested. And I feel like he still had the grace, reportedly, to say, fine, I don't mind if she gets bailed out. Even with all that, he still had the grace for the mother of his children to not leave her wasting away in that horrible Fox Hill prison, which looks horrible. My main fascination in this case is always to look deeper. What went wrong? In no way victim blaming, in no way excusing what Lindsay allegedly did. I'm trying to figure out, how do you go from being so in love, as Lindsay said in their college days, so skinny, so in love, all these things, how do you go from that to having this man's 3 boys, to what we're witnessing now, to calling 911 on him and being so resentful of him, going off with some younger guy? So it's not always about the outward look. I mean, I know they're both attractive, Robert and Lindsay, totally in love. Like, I just need to figure out, it's like missing puzzle pieces in my mind. What went so wrong in this marriage that Lindsay felt the need to start this affair and it devolve into an alleged murder for hire plot? Maybe there is no rationale. Maybe she is just a spoiled princess brat who got everything she always wanted. Was it just being bored housewife? I still think it's something deeper than that. And maybe that's why I keep reaching until I figure out, okay, what the heck happened? Not that it would excuse her behavior, not that it would ever justify it. I just feel like we're still missing pieces. So thanks for watching and listening to all this. Please comment, fill in the gaps if you hear things on the 911 call. I've only redacted their address and that's it. It's just a lot of kind of dead air typing space, and Lindsay not giving enough specifics. Like, I don't know, she just says like he's aggressive or he's this, but you know, you don't hear like Robert beating on the window, open this door. You don't hear any of that. She hasn't produced enough proof to line up with what her words are saying. He's aggressive, he's cocky, he thinks he's above the law. We don't have like, you know, he came out here with a knife. We don't hear any of that. Not that I see. I don't see a knife anywhere unless it's just a knife laying around the garage, but you don't hear like he specifically did this and grabbed my arm and twisted this, or you don't hear any of that. And that's what's, you know, making me go, I don't know. Thank you for watching so much. Stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Take care.